Sometimes songwriters or producers will put a song out and then they'll be like, I did this without music theory. And then theorists like me and Jim Lab say, well, actually they were using theory, just not 18th century functional harmony. And other people come on and say, no, but they did actually use functional harmony. And other people say, no, they just did whatever they wanted. And then war breaks out. What if I said you could use a theory and other people could look at the same music that you wrote using that theory through the lenses of other theories? It's kind of how it works. This question of functional and non-functional harmony in pop music is important to anyone creating music. Your brain is wired to think about music in a certain way. You're gonna fall into one of those two camps. That affects your actual mental process when you go about making chord progressions. If your brain is wired to think about harmony from a non-functional standpoint, but you were only taught functional skills, it's gonna make it a lot harder to make music. You're fighting your own brain. Knowing a little bit about these theory areas is gonna help you tremendously with making chord progressions that do what you actually want them to. The camp that looks at pop music today through a lens of functional harmony takes the classical functions and adjusts them, come from more of a place of using them for expectation. You can create predictable or chaotic chord progressions based on how you use these functions. Some big names researching this are Chris White, Ian Quinn, and Stephanie Acevedo. On the non-functional side, we have things like Neo-Riemannian transformation theory. Instead of moving from one chord to the next, it transforms into the next chord by changing as few notes as possible. A C major triad to a C minor triad is a parallel transformation. It only changes one note. You don't have to rely on staying in a key for this. You can have chord progressions from C major to C minor, A flat major to G sharp minor, and that all fits. Some big names for Neo-Riemannian transformation theory are David Lewin, Stephen Rings, and Richard Cohn. In the non-functional camp, you also have people talking about proximity. I've seen this on social media a lot. People will say, hey, just use chords that are next to each other on the circle of fifths. So the point of being aware of multiple theories or just ways of thinking about harmony is that when you go to write your own music, you can pick the right tool to help you be more efficient based on what your goals are and how your brain is wired. If you're trying to play with your listeners' expectations, it makes more sense to think from a functional perspective. If you're using harmony more for color or just vibe, the non-functional perspective would make more sense. Stick around to learn more about these theories and more and how to apply them to your music.